Does well down that left side with this run, and El Pocho on the mark. I think he might have been happier with a bit more polished finish, but he gets it through and he gives his goalkeeper an opportunity to be spectacular, but Lecomte just cannot get enough on it. This wonderful pass from Bulgaria settles just deliciously in front of Nilmar. And this crowd taking a real liking to him, this quickness. He sees the run and he sees the pass ahead of both Thiago Silva and Sacco, and he's in, and he makes no mistake. This is a pearler of a goal, and Ibrahimovic applauds it. Sees his second pass ahead of the first. Give, goal, gets, and wonderful touch pass from Shantom, who settled it and pushes it into stride right here. Lovely settle, and then an arrowed pass back. Really carpet tack sharp from Shantom, and Lavezzi ain't too bad either. The local lads enjoying the spectacle of the big glamour boys in town, enjoying a wonderful night. And the Parisians, we've got a travelling crowd as well. Well, the young lad there looking very French. Just needs a string of onions around him and he'll be perfect.
They're a little bit more of the traditional garb. Have to enjoy a night out on the town. Of course, PSG spent a night out at the Qatar Open, getting a chance to take part of the festivities, and now they're the center stage. About a 6.5 hour trek by plane from Paris to Doha.
A lovely stadium this, and been wonderfully constructed, but it's been around a while and it looks brand spanking new. Come on, lads, it's not so bad. Hit him within a goal of PSG at half time with a lot of their second string players like we are. So we'll probably see some men thrown in at the other end for the Red Knights. Arsenal?
Everywhere. A good look at the El Saad based Belhaj. They're one of the players that caught your eye in the first half down that right flank, the Qatari born back Mohamed Musa, but it was Ardilla on the left side that was causing all the problem, it seemed.
For me, really being the bright light, but Bulgaria showing that he's still got it, and he's performed well here tonight. The ex-Rangers man.
French-born Algerian. There, Tahui, only 21 years of age.
Okay, you know, he's born in South Korea.
Yes.
He ends up with Reading in England, and
then
ends up
Valenciennes.
in Qatar now, and he's 21-year-old. Now that's what you call an incredible career already, and he's a good little player.
Already on his third passport, as you can see. Thiago Silva was going to spend the rest of this one on the bench, and Lucas Moura, his compatriot, about to make his $55 million debut.
Well, from what I have seen of this player, he is special, people. You're about to see the unveiling of him here tonight, and we'll see. But look, you can see these Red Knight players looking at him and saying, aye, aye. something wicked is coming their way. The Brazilians checking in, of course, Maxwell and Nilmar, along with Lucas Moura, and Verratti in. A wonderful, talented little player, a real little footballista. And the changes continue to come in for PSG, but all eyes will be on this player. It's his speed, the quickness of him that took my eye. He's such a fast player, Phil, in his decision-making, but when you see him turn on the pace over the 10-15 yards, that's what separates him away from the regular types of top-class player. This kid could be really something special. Only 20-year-old, out of Sao Paulo for 45 million, a club record for PSG. What you got?
Then we'll try and catch you up on all the positional changes as the second half gets underway. And there do appear to have been quite a few. Jallet, see if he's wearing the captain's armband again. It does look like he is. Stepping in for Van der Wiel. Diego Lugano, the Uruguayan, the player who has come in for Thiago Silva, and in my mind, one of those players who's kind of been lost in the shuffle.
Yep.
Sissoko in for Sacco, and Maxwell in for Matuidi. By the way, Ray, that was the first match Matuidi has played as a left back, and we wonder whether it's one of those, again with Lucas Moura out there, trying to find a way to keep Matuidi in the lineup, and it worked well.
Absolutely. I can't imagine a month of Sundays that Matuidi will be left on the bench, even for this star-studded PSG team, Phil. He's just playing so well.
Up steps Sissoko. Back for the French-born Algerian Boudiaf. Blasted from long range, and it just screws high from Luis Serra. Gerrit's former Moroccan national team coach for the Belgian, and that's was first introduced to Amin Lecomte, the young goalkeeper. El Hadj again. I have a feeling that Gerrits might be calling Abdul El Thani saying, hey, could we buy these guys for good? El Hadj and Nilmar, two of the best that have been on the field today on a one-week loan, with Bayern coming in, of course, with Sebastian Soria, Afif, Malik, Hussein Ali all the way with the Qatari national team. They're a bit short-handed. That even happened in your day. Remember when the Cosmos used to make their world tours?
Sure.
A few guest players now and again. Boudiaf, Sierra, Belhaj, Jallet stepping forward. Not as many changes, if any, for the hosts. Musa, Bougera, Traore, and Belhaj in front of Lecomte. Sierra and Boudiaf. Mohamed and Dia on the flanks. Dehui and Nilmar up front. All pushed wide again. Inside on the slashing run by Gamero, and the former Lorient man sends it high.
Well, Gamero, if he steps over this one, Lucas Moura gets his first goal. You see Lucas Moura just arriving, would have been arriving to meet the train at the station there.
And it is still the 22-year-old former Sochaux Youth International, back in the days of Charlie Davies. Of course, the bench depth a little greater for PSG. Goods Paul here trying to find the slashing Ismail Mohamed, but unsuccessfully. PSG going through the training, through the sand pits and on these pristine pitches. Little dummy by Nogueira. Smart by the veteran. Richard Gasquet, the French tennis star, among those that showed up to wish well. On the turn, Tahui out wide for Dia. Drags it through
time in through to the waiting Nilmar here. Take a look. Dia does well, and there's the opportunity there to play it into Nilmar. That one little window opens for a split second, and it gets away from the impressive Dia.
Another person who showed up to watch the PSG training, very familiar face to many in our audience, Bora Milutinovic, who has set up camp, youth development in Qatar, with him and his lovely wife, the former U.S. and Mexican national team coach. Jallet trying to find Moura, but intercepted. Again, Belhaj. Forward for Dia, tripped up as he tries to slice through. And I think if this was a real match, Verratti might be carrying a yellow here. Showing the elusiveness of Isiardia. First-year player from Fenerbahce. They got themselves a good one. Good read, Sissoko. Calm. Well, that's something you kind of alluded to in the first half. Starting to see it here, the depth that they have put on the field. Nene here, leading scorer icon last season, and now in the role of reserve if he sticks around in the new season. But it could do well in these later stages of the Champions League. Lucas. Sissoko behind the back. Maxwell eludes, not one but two. Wide for Nene, inside for Maxwell, and a good stop by Lecomte.
Well, he starts it very early, Maxwell, and he'll be disappointed in himself. He keeps this one alive. A beautiful run, dishes it out wide. Nene sends it back with a fabulous ball, right into stride for Maxwell, but the Brazilian not able to touch it past the keeper.
Over Sissoko. Belhaj will be there. Verratti, mighty might, known for his Pirlo-like passes.
Would have been a lovely goal from Maxwell, Phil. A player that seems to follow Ibrahimovic wherever he goes, Maxwell. He always ends up at the same club. Two great friends, of course.
Always with a smile on his face.
Yeah, I would have made him smile broader if he'd put that one away. It would have been a great goal.
Good pull down by Mohamed, top of the box. Nilmar, and a rare poor touch. Or is that Tahui, the Korean, it looked like, who saw it pop up off of his boot? It was. Beautiful play by Mohamed, and it almost led to an equalizer. Lucas. Offside. Little too strong on the run from Gamero. Now a collision down on the other end as Nilmar upended. Jabir El Mahdi, referee, keeping the cards in the pocket so far. It's been a respectful game between the two. Boucher is now trying to keep PSG in the lead. Tahui with a bouncer. Not sure if he was hoping to sneak that through or to try and time a run, but an easy grab for the former Rennes man. Verratti. Nene sees Maxwell. Quick cover by Mohamed. Mohamed's been impressive. The two flank players, Dia on the left and the 22-year-old Mohamed. Gamero, Nene, showing off a few tricks. Sissoko for Verratti. Blasted from long range, Moura.
Cannot resist a pop from this distance. Any Brazilian can't resist. You see the way to the goal posts and they are unloading. This one is poor. Anxious to impress.
Into the center, Luis Jr. Hui. Dancing around Sissoko, chipping it and just needed to get more, but Lucas calm under pressure. Nene dragging Musa with him. Off the chest of Lucas. Beautiful in for Nene. Off his line, Sinigo, and licked into the middle for Gamero to touch home. Just dancing through the Lequia defense.
Well, there's a couple of great points here. Nene is absolutely tremendous, and that's who they're all going over to support him. Wonderful touch by from Nene, and then how he gets it back here. He curls it in beautifully. He's already got his picture taken 100 times. A beautiful lead ball for Nene. He's got it all to do. It wriggles away from him. He turns, pirouettes, and puts it right on a silver plate for Gamero, who does well with his run. Nice goal for the boss.
Jeremy Menez playing a central role and central to that attack, spotting Nene's run. All wide as now it's a 3-1 scoreline for PSG. Luis Ceará unceremoniously dumped. And Ray, well, he might have had the final shortest touch. Give credit to Gamero, throwing his body in front, keeping the defender behind. 3-1 now. El Hadj. Showdown against Bayern before he returns to Al Sadd and teams up with Raul again. Almari saying even if it is a friendly, rules are rules. The edge of the 6, almost to Mohamed. Sissoko had dropped in time. Smashed header just off target from Boudiaf, the 22-year-old Algerian. Again, for PSG in the second half, it is a complete change. As Gerrit's looking on, yet to make his first. Maxwell and Jallet on the flanks. Lugano and Camara in the center in front of Lucas. Sissoko and Verratti, the new holding midfielders. Menez and Nene, the new attacking midfielders, with Lucas and Gamero up front. Here is Jeremy Menez. Lifted for Maxwell. Back for the former Roma man. And there's another player who seemed to have a difficult time adjusting to Ibrahimovic's arrival, but adapting well of late. Buguera with a little hip check against something that might have been whistled Instead, I think the PSG fans in attendance.
That's a good run by Nene. I thought Bugara came across him here, but in the referee's opinion, Nene going down ahead of the challenge, and maybe he got it right.
Well, maybe twisting something on the way down, and the whistle's likely for him.
A good run either way, showing up nicely.
Mentioned this is a relatively new side, only their third year as a professional team, and they won the first two. Bakary Kone, Aruna Dindan, two of the stars who helped them get there. Both of them have moved on. Nene with the first yellow.
Yeah, I think it's complaining from that earlier challenge that he didn't get his way and taking umbrage with the referee.
There you can see that little swing around.
Yeah, there's nothing there. This was a good challenge. He won the ball completely, cleanly.
No, but Nene trying maybe with a little heel kick out. Referee trying to make sure things don't boil over. It is an interesting story when you consider how Qatar has kind of jumped to the center of the soccer universe. Some might say controversially, although nothing proven. Everything appears to be above board in regards to the World Cup. But it's not just that. You can see the stadiums that have been built to this point, many more that need to be. Chance for Verratti rolling it wide. Jallet over Gamero. Poorly cleared by Musa. Nene! And that's how you respond.
Well, he magnetizes this with his first touch, and that is everything. It falls to him fortuitously, but he makes absolutely no mistake. Control is everything. First touch in football is everything. Take a look at this. One touch, good night. Beautiful settle with the right. Left foot is impeccable. Jallet crosses it in. It's dished away with a poor defensive header, and he makes them pay. Lovely curling hit, but again, you go back to the settlement to set himself up for that curler, and that's why he was able to produce that wonderful, magical goal by Anderson Nene.
So much success in their run that fell just short last year. And you know, Ancelotti had to have been hoping that he and Ibrahimovic would have clicked, but it hasn't quite worked. In for Menez, offside flag. Last year, 21 goals for Nene. This season, just one.
Not sure that was offside. Yeah, been disappointing in a lot of ways, Phil. No question about it. But he is one of the players that L'Equipe recognised as one of the 11 best in all of French football.
Let's just say, if he does go on the list and make a move in this now current transfer window,
ain't gonna happen.
Will be a flood of suitors. Verratti, another player that seems to be growing into the role, but something you've talked about before, that even if they don't get new players, somehow they need to find a way to get Verratti a little closer to the action. Plays so deep, sometimes it seems like he's in a different arrondissement than Ibrahimovic. Off for Mohamed. Up for Luis again. Still no changes. I get it's in Lechia. You wonder now with the 4-1 score line, maybe try and preserve some strength, especially with that Bayern Munich game just in 3 days' time. Swinging over to the far side, Mohamed brings it to his right.
Well, I think Gerrard's going with, as you say, Phil, two different starting lineups. This is completely different to the team that lost against Al Sadd in 3-0 loss to Raul's team. Raul scoring in that game as well. So maybe the boss is just shaking it up during these two games and sticking with two separate teams. But the Red Knights have put on a good performance all in all. And this man in particular been sparky, but just the cutting edge at the top of the pyramid missing in action for Lechia, whereas the pedigree for PSG just coming out when needed.
Belhaj. Currently a 6-point gap for Belhaj and Al Sadd over Lechia, who are just 2 points over third place El Rayan and Nilmar.
Yeah, that's my team, El Rayan. I like that name.
Of course, was it 3+1 now for the Champions League? So all three in good position. Jallet sweeps it across, and Nene almost had his second.
Wonderful technique, and just kind of get his proverbial knee over the top in the last nanosecond. He flashes at it, but it's certainly within his compass to put this one away. In practice, they always go in.
And the first of the changes. Lechia putting Tresor in, and Bugera will exit.
Did well. His wonderful pass to set up the goal was really special. Over that distance and into straight for Nilmar was a magnificent pass.
Marcelo Tavares, the 32-year-old Brazilian, the other substitute coming in. Tresor Kangambu, the other player who just stepped on, the 25-year-old winger from the DR Congo. Second stint with Lechia. Over to Jallet. Good run. Good cross. Just didn't get enough of it. See from Nene. Maybe that's something Ancelotti might want to try. Get the Brazilian angry. Since he got the yellow card, he has one.
So now you want players to be angry. When Ibrahimovic is angry, you're all over him.
There's a difference.
They kind of win.
Controlled anger.
Controlled anger. I'm writing that one down.
Midway through the second half, it was a 2-1 scoreline at the break. Gamero and Nene both on the board. Well, Lechia's legs getting a bit tired. Strong run down that far flank. Middle waiting for a little bit of help. Nene on this near side. Moratti trying the back heel. Lucas shows how it's done.
Ball.
But there the ball from Verratti settled
Beautiful.
onside, and Menez makes it 5.
What a pass to find him. Lechia and their fans waiting for the man to raise his flag, but he's onside, I believe, in lifetime. Beautiful ball here.
Belhaj.
Dink over the top and then slingshot it home. Verratti, wonderful, scoops it. And then the finish from Menez. That's a wonderful angle. Beautiful control. And he doesn't hesitate. He's not even looking. He knows he's onside. He sees Verratti's pass on its way. He's off to the races. And that's a lovely finish, but the pass from Verratti was exceptional, the ex-Pescara man.
And here, one of the dangers, remember, Belhaj, not really a Lequia player, just on loan, and he was the one that was caught flat when the other three stepped up. Good game for the Al Sadd man. But he'll take a seat as Ahmed Yasser steps in. So 5-1, 20 minutes left. Menez with a goal and an assist already in the second half. And here looks to be just a bit nicked. There's Lucas. Ray, everyone talking about Neymar, and deservedly so, but well, Neymar might have the flash and sizzle. It's Lucas that's been the goal scorer. Wonder how long it will take for him to adapt. Ancelotti doesn't think it'll take that long.
Well, in the footballing sense, it'll take no time to adapt because of his ability and around his teammates, but it's the living, Phil. You know, these players that arrive in a big city like Paris, and certainly from Brazil, it takes a while to adapt to everything. Getting to the ground, finding your way around town, just bedding yourself in. And this man, talent-wise, will fit in hand in glove, but it may take him a while to really settle down into the lifestyle. But you cross the white line, as they're saying, it's always the same. We'll probably not see the full benefit of it, perhaps till next season, although we will see definite signs of the ability once he does arrive in the City of Light.
Luis Jr. pushing up a bit higher here. You can see with Tresor moving over to the left. Dia has moved to the right wing. Again wide for Nene. The back heel for Maxwell. Duplicated by Menez. Nene. Jallet. One touch. Gamero trying to feed it back, but
wonderful play from Jallet, wasn't it? On the run. It's found beautifully by Nene, and Gamero saying his apologies to the captain. Man on the ball. A lovely player.
Ahmed Yasser, one of the reserve players called up here today.
Jallet, one of the players, really talk about fighting for your place in PSG. He is one of them and deserves to be in that lineup, no question about it. It's coach's best dream, good players keeping good players out, but tough selection for Ancelotti.
Jallet's been around since 09, making the move from Lorient. The captain.
Good ball.
Settled.
Oh,
couldn't find the shot. Gamero's come close now twice in the last minute.
Yeah, he settles it nicely, but it won't drop down quick enough for him to get the hit at goal.
Hui bumped off the ball, but no sympathy from the referee. Lucas, you know, he wants to get on the board. Might just be a friendly, but it's the first time wearing the colors. Into the area.
Oh, there's that
through
quickness.
The defense. And just wide of the post.
There's that quickness I was telling you about. People, get used to it. Jumping jack flash. Look at this pace. Right there, in between the three players, and he cannot finish it off. He's got nowhere to go, but that ability and that elusive quickness. He goes for the near side post instead of the far away one to try to beat Lecomte. That would have been a wonderful goal.
Sissoko back for Kamara. Jallet, who has been foot perfect since stepping on. The speed of Vandervelde has been pushing him to the sideline. Ray, if you're right, I think the one thing that might keep some of these players like a Jallet, like a Nene, I don't want to call it happy, but at least content enough, is if they can continue that run to the Champions League.
Yeah,
be
right,
part of
Phil.
something special.
Well, you're right, but look at this kid. He's going to find his way into the team. You bottom dollar, but the player that he may replace is a player like Lavezzi. I mean, Lavezzi showed tonight with 2 goals that the quality is there, but again, El Pocho just not producing it to the level I think that a lot of people really expected after arriving from Napoli for 30 million euros. So we'll see how it develops, man. They're right in the thick of it in the domestic league, and of course in the Champions League against Valencia, looking to go beyond that. So we'll see. It's a good part of the interest when you're looking at PSG, not just the team, but the team that's starting for Carlo Ancelotti. The problems that the boss has got, putting it together under pressure and selecting the right man. Hey, there's a game going on.
Brought the whole gang with him.
Ibra.
Well, the blonde hair might have come from one side of the family. I'm sure there's plenty of talent from his side as well. Hussein Ali Shahab, 27-year-old Iraqi, the one who just stepped onto the pitch for the Brazilian Luis Ceará. 3rd season since coming over from Al Ahly. Rifled into the corner a little too far at Al Ahly, the Doha version. Came up through their youth ranks, but now since 09 part of La Huia, making the jump from amateur status to professional champions. Still have a couple of weeks left. January 21st, when the Star League restarts. We'll be taking on El Jaish, but that's the 4th place team. Then 3rd place El Rayan up next, so it's right back into the fire for La Huia when the league starts for real.
Yeah, that loss against Al Sadd, Raul's men, was at this stadium, and that was a big lesson that they got taught off a team that's sitting above them. So they've certainly got some work to make up.
PSG, as you said, with a 3-way tie with the 2 Olympiques, but ahead on goal differential at the midway point. Well-timed run and a chance for Mohamed, rifled up and over on the rebound by Nilmar.
Well, Mohamed screams at the heavens above. Diaz is at Leeds, beautiful ball, and he just whiffs on this one. Mohamed needs to get a little bit more pop on it. The ball running away, it's always a difficult one to adjust to in front of the goal. It looks easy, lovely ball into stride, but easy pickings for the keeper.
Ray, you were kind of alluding, I think both wingers have been impressive, but especially Dia, who's now playing a playmaking role, wouldn't look out of place on Tyneside.
Any quality team, any good team at all. And a nice little player, showed up very smartly here tonight on a good stage.
Through Lugano and Sissoko to Nene, and now Jallet. Gamero wanting his brace. So far, Lavezzi with 2 in the first half and 3 separate scores as Leonardo looks on. It's Leonardo, everyone talking about offside, a little questionable.
I think it was that fella. Really a foul.
A lot of pressure on Ancelotti. Even more pressure in many ways was on Leonardo. And you're starting to see the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. Of course, I have a feeling they probably wish they had a bit more of a gap in the Championnat to give them a little leeway when it comes to the Champions League, but that hasn't been the case yet. Verratti with spin like Velcro to Nene. Mohamed Musa trying to step in, rifled across. Actually, that was Tresor playing some defense, sliding at Sissoko to maintain possession. Verratti. This time the flag does come up to deny Maxwell. And probably shouldn't have. Maybe the hair on his head on that lean. Ismail Mohammed will exit. Very good game for the homegrown Qatari. Two more substitutes getting set to check in. Simon Dia on loan from Valenciennes, the second of the two. Abdulaziz Issa, another player from the reserves, the other. There's Isiar Dia. Back through Ali Shahab. Iraqi. Soft touch in the midfield. That one just skipping under the boot of Dia. Verratti freezes and then frees. Lucas beaten on the first touch. Good chance on the run, but Maxwell with the sprawling defense. '82nd minute, halfway done. Right, it's been two totally different 11s for PSG. Whipped by Nene. Lecomte comes down. And I guess the second half one maybe lacking some stars. If you want to compare them to Ibra and Silva, have outscored the first half 2-1, second half 3-0 for PSG. Another strong run by Isiar Dia. Ball in for Lugano to poke wide for the corner. The forgotten man. Dia again, the 25-year-old Senegalese impresses.
Diego Lugano, wonderful defending there. Uruguayan, has been a tremendous player. Had a poor first season when he arrived at PSG. Struggled to find his top class, international class form that he shows for Uruguay and of course for Fenerbahce when he played for them, but certainly worthy of his place on PSG.
Good try by Abdulaziz, denied by Duches. Like straight to Jallet as PSG comes away. Lucas came so close to what could have been the goal of the match, which at this point probably Levetzi's second.
PSG side, and the problems that throw up for Ancelotti is the variety of the players that he has at his disposal. Verratti, a very specialized type of player, and when he is in the team, there will be a different looking side in their type of performances, where you've got the likes of this man on the ball, Menez and Nene and one or two others. They're different types, so Ancelotti has got a lot to consider on a way and a manner in which they perform. Verratti brings an awful lot to the team, but in the manner of his footballing ability, the way he plays, Phil, it alters the way PSG perform. Lavezzi is another one that is going to be interesting to see how Carlo really does make all the pieces fit, and so much ability. It's the chemistry that's the main thing. and how they complement each other. Not just one player against a midfield, but perhaps against the defence that he lines up with, the attacking variations. It's not as easy as just putting the 11 best out there. Paulo's taking a lot of time to try to find that magic formula, and it seems of late that they've been coming together with a tremendous run of form. And I said against Ajaccio, the next game at Paris, well, we'll see what that throws up.
Almost driving through, but still holding on, rattling it off for Lugano. The substitute, Mohamed Mudater, 24-year-old. Substitute normally for Leguia in the Star League. Getting a chance here against PSG's stars. Strong from Diaz, square, but again, maybe hoping for a run from Simon Diaz, but wasn't coming.
Going for goal all day here. Takes on Maxwell Diaz, drives past him one touch and goes for that post at the back, but nowhere close to it. Certainly Sirigu's got his angles covered nicely.
Other sub that just came on in the midfield for Tahui, Ahmed Massoud, the 23-year-old. Well, it's a learning lesson. Lucas trying to teach a bit more, but that one just missing his stride.
Good ball into Verratti. It's a good pass. Verratti, seeing his hands go up to his head in disappointment at his own ability, not at Lucas Moura's pass.
Right before Fenerbahce, Dia had spent some time at Nancy, and you know, with all the French clubs that are watching this match, might see a return to Ligue 1.
He might not want to return to Ligue 1. He might be having a time of his life in Doha.
Well, he's putting on a show.
Trying to get these players away from Leguia before he's even settled in, Phil.
Well, let's just say there will probably be a few phone calls.
He won't be. You talking about Newcastle come knocking? He ain't going there.
Just a little different than the 73 degrees this time of year. Ball in for Ali Shahab. Massoud.
But you're right, Phil.
For Dia.
I mean, all kidding aside, he has been their best player here tonight in terms of the attack. It really has been very energetic and full of fizz, and really supplying Nilmar with some great arrows before, wasn't he?
Lucas for Nene. Nene.
Nicely.
Back onside. Gamero.
Beautiful.
Ball played in by Menez, but deflected wide.
Kevin Gamero was wanting that ball played back with a little bit more accuracy from Nene.
Just a couple minutes left in regulation. In Bayern Munich, a team that is just as loaded. In some ways forget it's, you can say it's a lesson, but he's going to have some pride to bandage up. There will be lessons learned, but how do they use them? Because I have a feeling Bayern could easily duplicate the scoreline the way they've been playing. Verratti shows. Massoud on his heels. Whipped long on the switch, but a little too far for Maxwell.
You got to remember as well, Phil, though, that the quality of the goals that the Red Knights have fallen to here tonight are not the type of goals that you see week in, week out in the Star League in Qatar. With all due respect, but there were some wonderful goals here created by PSG with really international class ability.
And again, there, that defensive ability of Verratti on display, but they need his ability to try and take some of the playmaking pressure off of Ibra in the second half. To the 90th minute we go. Don't forget, coming up a bit later today, Catalunya will be taking on Nigeria. And that Catalunya squad loaded.
Yeah, the Nigerians are usually got some good footballers as well.
Including
that
Portland's.
will be an interesting match.
Portland's Bright DK one cap to his name against Venezuela. Could get his second. Although, as you said, it is a very loaded side. Kalu Uche among those to suit up. That again at 1 o'clock Eastern on beIN Sport. In between, we're going to bring you live coverage of the Qatar Open. So moving from one part of Doha to the other. Almari moving the mini wall back.
That's tennis, right? Not golf.
Not Formula One either.
Not as long as it's not golf.
One big sand trap. Away from Duches. Overhead try. Mudata looking for the highlight reel. Bonatti. Nene.
No.
Still alive. Gamero. Menez. And the lunging tackle takes it away. Good play by Tavares. Again, though, only as far as Lucas Tavares, the Brazilian veteran, stepping up. Tresor. 3 minutes to be added. Nice try, Camara. It is a friendly, so why not put on a show? Chalet. Many of these players in the second half, the real audience is Ancelotti trying to prove that they should have been out there in the first. That's why they call it a manager. Got to decide who and when, and then how to assuage the feelings. Ball over the shoulder of Nene brilliantly. Settles against Tresor. Spins to the inside, and the Brazilian sent down. This time he will get the call. And a chance to add to their lead. Bonatti has the ability to go for goal here. Looks like there might be a bit of a gap around the wall. Tries to play it to the top of the box. Lucas leaves it and then whipped wide by Sissoko. 70 seconds remain. So has Ancelotti seen what he wanted to see?
These games are always, it's not a learning session, Phil. These players come in, they've been working hard in Doha as a regimented training facility. He'll have been putting hard work into them ahead of this game. And then you're starting to just feed in the players. Everybody got what they wanted. They saw the magic of the likes of Lavezzi and then flashes of Ibrahimovic. So, you know, really, Carlo Ancelotti feeding in the rest of his team and giving everybody a run out. But really, this excursion over here to Qatar is not about this game tonight. It's about the 5, 6, 7 days that they're going to have, conditioning, melding with each other, building the confidence. Again, a good result on the night, quality football against a half-decent team as well. Lequia showed up nicely, especially in the first half, with some good individual performances, Nilmar especially, and my favourite player, Dia. So it was good. All in all, mission accomplished by PSG, and everybody appreciative. A nice game of football.
5-1 the score. Lavezzi with 2 in the first. Gamero, Nene, and Menez add in the second half. And for Ancelotti, the victory, the show, and no injuries of note. Pleasantries as the two Brazilians walk off the pitch. And for Lequia, another showdown with Bayern Munich in just a few days' time. For Ray Hudson, I'm Phil Shane. I hope you enjoyed it. Lequia 1, PSG 5.
The League of Stars begins 2013 with a derby of Catalunya. Barcelona destroys everything that crosses its path. With a comfortable situation in the top of the standings, they will host Espanyol, who maintains the unbeaten run with coach Javier Aguirre in the battle to escape from the relegation zone. Barcelona, Espanyol, Sunday only on BN Sport. The Spanish League opens 2013 on BN Sport. Maximum pressure and disagreement defining the present time of Real Madrid. Required by history and tradition, they must start the new year with a convincing victory against the Real Sociedad and the Mexican star Carlos Vela. Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Sunday only on BN Sport. This is